Way worse than 2016. The election just happened. If you are under 40 and you care about shit other than your taxes, you are in the right place. I don't know, man. Shit's gonna get real dystopic real fast. I'm talking 1955, Fallout 3.
War never changes.
Period drama. Maybe you're scared, tired, exhausted, even hopeful. That's good. That means you have a tiny shred of humanity left in you, and we need that. So hang on to that, please. I just want to talk about what we can and should be doing after this election. This is not a pep talk. This is not a rallying cry, and I am not a political commentator. As someone who tries to stay active and engaged and involved, I'm seeing all these long-form video essays about the election and how we got here, but that's not really helpful, especially if you're worried about like what's to come, and you don't need to do that to yourself. You don't need that. So if you would like some insight as to what we can do moving forward, even if you're new to community and activism, I got you. First thing you can do is do me a favor. I need you to lose some of that faith you have in the good old government. We can't rely on the federal government and the courts that are supposed to keep them in check, because they don't. And between the Electoral College, lobbyists, super PACs, and pandering, what the fuck was that? The fact that the government was able to shut down during the first wave of the pandemic when people needed them the most should tell you everything you need to know about our governing body's priorities. And honestly, you should be a little pissed. Just lose faith in the two-party system. Lose faith in the federal government. Like, they haven't been doing their job. Having two sides to every issue just hasn't progressed our country in the ways that it should. It's so polarizing. Nothing gets done. They can't even agree to stop bombing children, to get rid of daylight saving time, to stop bombing children. How the fuck are they gonna fix any of these issues that we have here? These massive economic, social, and environmental issues. Simply voting is not enough. It was never enough. Voting for something, not because it's what you want, but because it's out of fear of something else, like, that's not a vote. What are we talking about? It can't be nostalgia over nuance anymore. Lose faith in that. Whatever you thought the government does, whatever you read in your textbook is largely not what happens. If anything, it's been corrupted for years. Why do you have faith in it? Pay attention to where you get your information from. Media literacy and being mindful of echo chambers are more important than they've ever been. Like, it's very hard to get concrete, absolute, objective information on complicated topics and scenarios. But that's not necessarily your job. Like, facts are cool, but they don't mean shit if you don't have the capacity to apply them to society in a way that's relevant to how things are working today. You should be fact-checking bold-ass claims and statements, whether you agree with them or not. If you don't already, you should know the difference between a study and a blog and a think piece and an article. Be intentional about your process of gathering information. If you don't know something, read up on it. It doesn't have to be that same day, but figure some things out for yourself. Do your own research. You don't know everything. The only fact that's always true is that you don't know everything. So keep that in mind. Like, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to go out and seek the answers that you don't have. The information that you're getting, that you're receiving, it's like food. It's like the things you put in your mouth. It's a pretty good idea to know where those things are coming from, and it's a worthwhile endeavor to find out. Social media is a powerful tool, but I think we give a lot of people way too much credit. There's a lot of useful information on there for sure, but there's also a lot of bullshit. So just be aware and be mindful, and don't buy into the first thing that you see. And no, reading the comments is not doing research. You need to go further than that. There are some like relatively decent platforms. Ground News, I think, is one of them. Associated Press. But understand that these are tools, and just like any other tool, there's a human aspect, there's a human component. Like, you still have to do your part, you still have to do your work, investigate, be inquisitive, be curious. A lot of us are just chronically online. Seeking information needs to stop being a little casual hobby and taken more seriously. Limit your intake, go the fuck outside, stay informed but not overwhelmed. Like, you can't learn everything in a day. And I can't stress this enough. we need to start organizing. Y'all need to get out there. Y'all need to get connected. Y'all need to get involved. We're not really socialized for this. I wonder why. Nothing else is going to save us. Voting's not going to save us. Social media is not going to save us. Leaving comments is not going to save us. Nothing really matters if we're not committed to building and strengthening communities, creating lines of communication, looking out for one another. If you are feeling unsafe right now, understand that many before you have. And this is what they did. They got organized. Where to start? Well, first, talk to your family, talk to your friends, create space to have these conversations, invite people over for dinner, have these uncomfortable talks, get in the mindset of being wrong, being uplifted, being corrected, get in the mindset of being connected and not being afraid to have this discourse. Make space for this. If your family, your friends, or whoever are with the shits, maybe start organizing locally. Who's your mayor? Who's your governor? Who represents you in city council? Figure that out. You should know that. As a member of society, wherever you live, whatever county, like these are things that you should know, and these are things that you should be aware of. Follow them on social media, whatever, get their numbers, get their emails, like have this. Walking in to an office and being like, hey, this legislation fucking sucks, we don't like it. Like that's way more powerful than throwing your vote into the electoral college. Just understand that. Find local advocacy organizations. People are already doing this work. People have been doing this work, advocating and moving towards liberation, moving towards dismantling these systems that are causing so much harm. Don't let the fear of being late to the party like overshadow the bigger fear, which is everything that's to come. Google organizations, Google Direct Action, Google Mutual Aid, volunteer, donate, just get involved. Go to the meetings, ask questions, ask these organizers, ask these people who have been doing the work what you can do. Address while you're late and just get to it. There is something for everybody. No need will ever be fulfilled. Like we need all hands on deck. Come in these spaces ready and willing. Understand that a lot of this work predates you and me. There's a lot of Black and Indigenous, BIPOC, LGBTQ, pioneers, women, men, whoever, who have like been doing this and have been successful at it. There's a framework that's already been built. And I'm not trying to incite nothing, but I really recommend that people start looking into Black and Brown, Indigenous works, revolutionaries, radicalism, anarchism, liberation. If you don't know where to start, Huey P. Newton's Revolutionary Suicide was like my first introduction into these spaces, but I'm really glad that that was what I started with. Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth, another good one. Like that's where I would start. Not everything is gonna resonate, but a lot of it is applicable. A lot of it matters. A lot of it is important. And honestly, like this is what it's gonna take. We're gonna have to go back to this frame of thinking. I'll try to put some links if I figure out how to do it. If anything, I'll just go ahead and put a list of some of the works. You can find these like almost anywhere. They're books, they're cheap, they're accessible. It's for a reason. So we have these things, we have these resources, and we need to use them. And honestly, organizing doesn't always have to involve just the bigger picture. Part of it is just moving in a way that protects you and protects those around you. Like that's community, and that's what building one means. I need y'all to be safe, okay? So, it's a very human response to want to get the fuck out of somewhere when you feel actively threatened. And like a president being elected, putting you in fight or flight, that's a big deal. So I know that not everybody can do this, but if you're in a space or a place or you live in an area where like you feel unsafe, I need you to leave if you can. Or if you need to just relocate and move to a different part of your city, whatever you got to do, your safety comes first. You can't do anything if you're not safe or like something happens to you. We need everybody to be okay. I just want y'all to be safe and be okay. If you don't feel like going to a particular area, don't get pressured into doing things you don't want to do. If you don't want to be around big crowds right now, like that's fine. If you're still taking COVID precautions, that's fine. Safety first, literally. Because sadly, we've learned over time throughout history, this is who we are. This is America. I hate that song, but it's true. And a lot of the times it's ugly. And while we understand that the country needs to be functional and stable, it's just really scary when the emphasis is always on infinite growth and profit and money, while it overshadows things like reproductive rights, trans rights, just literal rent control, minimum wage, like things that make people's lives better. it could be so easy. Like it's scary, and I get that. So safety plan with your loved ones. If you don't know what that is, look that up. That could be anything as just having a plan for if things go south, or if you feel threatened, having a place to go, having a meeting spot if you get separated during like, you know, a rally or whatever. Your well-being comes first, and the well-being of everybody else comes directly after. So do your part, stay safe, help keep everybody else. Again, I need y'all to lose faith. I need y'all to seek information. I need y'all to organize. I need y'all to stay safe. I don't think any amount of planning could have changed the hopelessness that a lot of us felt when we heard the news. If you're someone like me, I know that I need space to grieve, and I need space to process. I need space to rest. But after that, like, I'm gonna make my moves, and I know that you all will too. So hopefully you found that helpful.